Get ready for the action, because the MotoGP world is reeling from chaos in Barcelona. We start with the reactions from the riders after a truly dangerous day, as MotoGP riders weigh in on the risks after heavy crashes involving Alex Marquez and Johann Zarco, and you won't want to miss what they have to say about the dangerous decision to restart the race for a third time. Shared about the tough emotions of witnessing such a critical incident. Finally, we tackle the bigger picture. Pedro Acosta challenges the status quo, arguing that a Formula One-style rider association is unviable because the grid is too egocentric. And we wrap up with the key takeaways on rider unity following the events of the Catalan Grand Prix. Stay with us for the full story. Neu dung kai tight. MotoGP riders have voiced strong reactions following a chaotic and dangerous Catalan Grand Prix in Barcelona, which was severely impacted by red flags and multiple heavy crashes involving Alex Marquez and Johann Zarco. The incident sequence began on lap 12, when Alex Marquez crashed heavily after losing control following a maneuver involving race leader Pedro Acosta, who unexpectedly slowed near turn 10 due to a suspected electrical issue. Marquez required hospitalization for checkups. Moments later, during a restart, Johann Zarco became entangled in a three-way incident involving his teammate Pecco Bagnaia on a Ducati and Honda's Luca Marini at turn 1. And the decision to restart the race for a third time sparked significant backlash, primarily due to concerns over the lack of clear information regarding the condition of Marquez and Zarco. Factory Aprilia rider Jorge Martin raised serious questions about the safety protocols, suggesting a potential limit on the number of restarts after repeated incidents, particularly citing safety concerns around turn 1. Martin admitted the day was really dangerous and expressed apprehension about the risk associated with repeated restarts, stating that 3 restarts is quite dangerous as it severely compromises concentration. NHRC Luca Marini described the Sunday as a terrible day. Noting that Zarco's crash brought back traumatic memories of a severe injury sustained during Suzuka 8 hours testing. Marini expressed deep concern for both riders' recovery, acknowledging the difficult emotions experienced. Despite the stress, Marini affirmed that riders would never prefer not to continue racing. And Alex Rins, a Yamaha rider, shared the emotional toll, describing the experience of waiting in the garage after witnessing Marquez's crash, stating that seeing a teammate on the ground was deeply affecting. Rins emphasized that while they are human, the situation is incredibly tough. When asked how MotoGP should handle such events, Rins stated that the paramount priority is the rider's consciousness. N. Fabio Di Giannantonio secured a dramatic second MotoGP victory at the chaotic Catalan Grand Prix, navigating 2 major red flag incidents to claim the win. The race was severely disrupted by high-speed collisions, beginning with a major incident where race leader Pedro Acosta's bike cut out, leading to a crash involving Alex Marquez directly behind him, which resulted in the Gresini machine splitting in half. Di Giannantonio was collected as collateral damage in this initial crash, but managed to rejoin the race after his VR46 machine was restarted. The second red flag occurred immediately after the restart, triggered by an error from Johann Zarco, who collected Luca Marini and Pecco Bagnaia, with Zarco becoming entangled with Bagnaia's bike. Despite suffering pain in his left hand, Di Giannantonio re-entered the fray and prevailed on the third restart to take his second victory. Early in the race, there was significant action, with Acosta making a strong start from pole position. The chaos escalated quickly, featuring overtakes and multiple contacts between riders including Raul Fernandez, Alex Marquez, Jorge Martin, and Johann Zarco across the first few laps. A key moment involved Acosta's bike failing on the run to turn 10, leading to the first red flag. Following the restart, the second incident saw Zarco's mistake cause a collision involving Bagnaia and Marini. In the final restart, Acosta led the race, but a crash between Raul Fernandez and Jorge Martin at turn 5 ended their chances of winning. This incident promoted Joan Mir into second and Francesco Bagnaia into third, despite Bagnaia sustaining a wrist injury during the restart crash. Di Giannantonio fought his way through the pack, overtaking Bagnaia and then Acosta, ultimately emerging to claim the checkered flag and his second MotoGP win in VR46 colors. The podium battle remained intense as Mir finished second, while Firmin Aldegger took third. The race concluded with Acosta crashing out at the final corner, joining the non-finishers, while Di Giannantonio sealed his triumph. Francesco Bagnaia secured Ducati Lenovo's first Grand Prix podium of the MotoGP season at the intense Catalunya race, emerging from a highly dramatic weekend marked by race stoppages, heavy accidents, and post-race penalties. The Italian rider achieved the podium after battling dizziness on his way to the top step. The race action was chaotic, beginning with Alex Marquez sustaining a significant accident during the initial start before Bagnaia was involved in a subsequent stoppage. During the restart, Johann Zarco crashed into the rear of Bagnaia and Luca Marini at turn 1, resulting in all three riders falling through the gravel. Zarco's left leg became trapped in Bagnaia's Ducati rear wheel, prompting immediate assistance from Bagnaia and Marini. Bagnaia described the day as intense, expressing concern over Zarco's critical condition, stating, "I just hope that his pain could have stopped sooner, because it was tough to see." Zarco was later diagnosed with damage to his anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments and a small fibula tear in his ankle. Bagnaia then entered the final race start on a spare bike, used tires, and suffering from the physical toll of his own impact. Despite starting well, Bagnaia experienced pain and dizziness after 3 laps, forcing him to push through until the final lap. He ultimately crossed the finish line in 4th place, 4.3 seconds behind the race winner, Fabio Di Giannantonio. While runner-up Joan Mir was later demoted for low tire pressure, Bagnaia was promoted to 3rd place. Reflecting on the result, Bagnaia expressed that while finishing on the podium was great, it was not the outcome he desired, emphasizing the hard work of the team. He concluded, "Surely, if someone is deserving it, it is the team that is working a lot. They are giving their maximum to reach this kind of results consistently, and I know that will arrive." Bagnaia remains uncertain about his fitness for Monday's testing session. Meanwhile, Alex Marquez is scheduled to leave the hospital on Monday afternoon following surgery to stabilize a collarbone fracture, and the Gresini rider also suffered a marginal fracture to the C7 vertebra. Pedro Acosta has voiced strong skepticism regarding the viability of a riders' association in MotoGP, arguing that the grid is inherently too egocentric. This sentiment follows recent safety concerns highlighted by a crash-filled Catalan Grand Prix that resulted in injuries to both Alex Marquez and Johann Zarco. The report points out a lack of a collective body dedicated to protecting riders' best interests, contrasting it with the separate associations that manufacturers and teams maintain. While riders have the opportunity to voice concerns during weekly safety commission meetings, attendance has been a point of criticism, with figures like Luca Marini and Francesco Bagnaia citing poor turnout leading up to the Barcelona weekend. Responding to questions about establishing an organization similar to Formula One's Grand Prix Drivers Association, GPDA, Acosta stated that he did not fully understand the F1 model, emphasizing that as the performers, riders must look beyond their immediate spotlight to address broader issues. He stressed the necessity of unity, using the example of championship battles to illustrate that riders must stand together against external pressures. Acosta suggested that the egocentric nature of the sport drives riders to seek personal opportunities, noting that a rider might be inclined to race if they are in good form, even if others are not. He maintained his stance on the recent Barcelona incident, concluding that holding a third race was unnecessary given the severity of the preceding accidents, and he still believes the points allocation should have been adjusted. Meanwhile, other riders, including Joan Mir and Enea Bastianini, have proposed technical solutions, such as moving the grid forward to mitigate risks at the first corner. Acosta dismissed this suggestion, attributing incidents to bad luck and pointing to circuit-specific safety features, noting that some tracks offer better runoff areas than others, such as Jerez.